Okay, yes, we are live. It is currently 20 past midnight here in the UK. And of course, this is your Las Vegas Grand Prix free practice one. Oh, are you ready for it? I'm telling you, I'm getting too old for these late nights, guys. I am. So, interesting day. If you watched the media day, I don't know if you saw my earlier video today. It's basically all about the Ferrari media day, because well, it wasn't Ferrari's media day, it was obviously the Las Vegas Grand Prix media day. But I don't know if you watched the video. I found it quite fascinating to see the Ferrari drivers answering questions about John Elkann. They were like politicians. They reminded me as if there was, some representative off camera sort of stood in a black suit, pointing a gun at them, going, "Hey, make sure you tell everyone that you have a great relationship with John Elkann. Make sure you tell everybody that, you speak to him every day." If you haven't seen that video, go and look. Hey, Sema, welcome to the chat. This is a good time for you, Sema. Right? What time is it in Australia right now? It's actually quite reasonable, isn't it? What, is it sort of middle of the day? Yeah. Just want to say, Allah, about to hit the road and have a great weekend. Yeah, all right, listen, Summer, mate, this is only free practice one. Get yourself ready for the Grand Prix. Oh, almost midday. Well, get yourself ready for the Grand Prix. My Saturday night / Sunday morning, 4 a.m. It's going to be a good one. It's Vegas, baby. It's Vegas, baby. Yeah, lots of overtaking. That's what we like. Lots of overtaking at Vegas. So, yeah, it's going to be a great Grand Prix weekend. I shall be fully caffeinated for the entire weekend. Yes, Emma, Vegas, let's go. I'm telling you, watch out for the Mercedes this weekend. That Mercedes, George Russell. He's my pick for this weekend. See you in a bit, Summer. Yeah, George Russell's my pick for this week. I think you could. It's hard to look past the Mercedes. Now, why do I think the Mercedes is going to be strong here? Well, because the Mercedes works in a very particular window, and that is cool, dry conditions, just like Canada, where George won, and Kimi Antonelli got his first podium. And I think that's what we're looking at this weekend in Vegas. The conditions are going to be about 18 degrees. As long as it doesn't rain, I think we're going to see a very strong Mercedes. George Russell obviously won last year. Andy got pole. Year before that, we saw Leclerc get pole, Max Verstappen win. But this year, obviously everyone's talking about McLaren, but this is not a good track for McLaren, I don't think. I just noticed that they're messing around with the wing setup on the McLaren. They've got everyone's going to go for low downforce, obviously. It's a low downforce track. Lots of good overtaking, so that should make for a very good race. But I do think that traditionally, I don't know. I just don't think. I don't think Ferrari are going to have a fun time here this weekend. I still think there's the hangover from all of John Elkann's comments, and I still believe the Ferrari team is absolutely in a mess, a crazy mess. And if you are watching, by the way, tell me where you're watching from. Say hello in the chat. I'm interested. Where are you watching from today? For me, I'm in the UK. It is just after midnight, 25 past 12 here on Friday morning. Let me know where you watch from. Get in the chat, fully interactive. And so, yeah, I do think that for Ferrari, it's going to be a struggle. I think Max is going to be quick. FP1 doesn't really normally tell us too much, but I'm expecting it to be a battle between Max and George. God, haven't been able to say that this year, but that's what I think. I think we're probably going to see Lando Norris P3, Kimi Antonelli P4, and then I think Leclerc P5. That's my predictions. Let me know your top 5 predictions for race day. So I'm thinking P1 George Russell, P2 Max Verstappen, P3 Lando Norris, P4 Kimi Antonelli, P5 Charles Leclerc. Those are my predictions. But FP1, I'm here for it. First time we get to see these liveries out on track as well. We get to see that Williams livery and the V-Carb livery. I think that V-Carb livery looks awesome. All holographic. Bad morning Cornwall. In Cornwall, as in, hey Sal, nice to have you with us. Cornwall, as in the UK, or am I being, or is there a Cornwall with a different Cornwall? Because if you are in the UK, I'm glad you're up like I am. I'm glad you stayed up for FP1. I appreciate it. It's a good move, Sal. I tell you what though, the weather if you're in different countries right now, the weather in the UK has just got super cold, like really cold. But yeah, but not in Vegas. It's cool, dry temperatures, and it's exactly what the Mercedes likes. So yeah, my prediction is look out for the Mercedes. Rookies wise, I have a prediction of I think we're gonna see a good performance again from Ollie Behrman. Oh, Cormidman, UK. I don't know where that is. My geography's terrible, Sal. Honestly, my geography's so bad. Where's that near? That honestly, that could be anywhere. That could be in Manchester. It could be in Ireland, Scotland. I have no idea. Oh, my geography's so bad. So bad. Oh, get excited. We're going to be kicking off soon. Let's just see. Do we have our telemetry data coming through? Not yet. We'll have our telemetry data in about 4 minutes. So we've got all live timings. So we'll have live timings. We've got track and obviously commentary and our expert discussion of what we see on track. Any incidents we can discuss. We can talk about ideas. We can talk about what's been going in the news all week. If you'd like to discuss anything to do with that Ferrari story, then, oh my God, I'm an expert, let me tell you. And if you haven't seen the video from earlier on where I said Ferrari drivers talk on Elkin, it's purely, I've got some video footage in there as well. It's purely analysing Charles Leclerc and Hamilton's response to the questions from Media Day. And all the questions were, so, John Elkan's comments, how do you respond to that? And honestly, all they did was deflect. Saying, "Oh yeah, do you know?" Honestly, it was like they were Stepford Wives. They had this brand Ferrari response, which was, "Well, we speak to John every day." Yeah, John basically trying to say they didn't throw John under the bus at all. Obviously, not a bad word was said about him, but they'd been fully trained. I felt sorry for Lewis. He had to put up with a lot. I think. He honestly, he looked like a. Southwest. Right. I see. Right. So I'm northwest. I'm up in the northwest of England at the minute. Have you got Sal? Have you got your coffee? Are you drinking your coffee, or have you got a beer? I would have had a beer, but because I've got to come back on again at 4 a.m. for FP2, I thought if I have a beer, I might not make it through. I might not make it to the next stream. Yeah, I'm on coffee, Sal. It's all about the coffee. It is. So yeah, give me your predictions. Sal? I don't think it's great to have you in the chat. I don't think you're on our preview show. Sal, give me your top 5 predictions. Who do you think is going to finish P1, P2, P3, P4, P5 in the race? Get them in the chat. I'm interested to know. And if you are watching the stream right now, do the same thing. Let me know who your top 5 predictions are for Las Vegas. we can discuss them together. Like I said, my P1 is George Russell. My P2 is Max Verstappen. My P3 is Kimi Antonelli. My P4, no, sorry, my P3 is Lando Norris. My P4 is Kimi Antonelli, and my P5 is Charles Leclerc. Yes, Paul, welcome to the chat. Yeah, it feels like -3 at your location. Honestly, it's freaking freezing. I've got a little heater in my little studio, and honestly, this morning when I woke up, and you get to your car and it's just everything's got frost all over it. I mean, give me snow, but don't give me like just. It's got to be. I like extremes. I like it super hot, or I like it snowing. Don't like it raining. Don't want frost. I don't want the roads tricking me with ice that I can't tell there's ice. Do you know what I mean? I'm like a Mercedes. I like cool, dry conditions. Right, let's see. Do we have our telemetry data coming through just yet? Mm-mm. What? We're not getting the data yet. We get the track data and track telemetry. Unfortunately, it can be a little bit slow to start working. We should be getting it right now. I'm refreshing it for you because they're out on track. Mm-mm. Why are we not getting this? Oh, our data provider is not working. FP1 has started. We've currently got Hadjar, Gasly, Behrman, Ocon, Sonoda, Leclerc, Colapinto, Anthony, Lawson, Sainz, Albon, Hulkenberg, and Bortoletto all out on track. Mm-mm. We're having a few issues with our data stream. Go and bear with me. I will try and get it up as soon as I possibly can. Our data provider is not providing the live data. And unfortunately, my tech support, which happens to be my friend, is in Saudi Arabia. Let me see if I can. Um, just trying to email them now. Oh, technology. I hate it. So we've got Leclerc at P1. He's put 141.3. Cole Pinto Behrman. I think so. The other thing, if you've just joined us on our preview show, we we choose a who we think is going to be driver of the weekend, and we also choose who we think is going to be dipstick of the weekend. Who do we think is going to have an absolute mare? Now, my driver of the weekend prediction's Ollie Behrman. And my dipstick of the weekend, I feel sorry for him because I think he's literally the sacrificial lamb. I think it's going to be Yuki. I think they're going to be sacrificing Yuki to try and help Max get his optimum setup. Mm-mm. Have we got it? I don't think. I don't think we're gonna have live timings for this stream. Oh, that's very annoying. I'll keep an eye on it. I'll keep trying to get that back up and running for us through the stream. But right now, I can keep you updated. So we've got Hadjar currently P1 with a 139, Leclerc, Hulkenberg just putting a P3. Then we've got Gasly, Antonelli, Sainz, Sonoda, Ocon, Behrman, Albon, Gola, Pinto, Lawson, Bortoletto. Hamilton's still not out yet. No time. Stroll. But really, FP1 it always is pretty boring because do we learn a lot? Sometimes. We might get an early indicator of some of the midfield teams who might be quick. I'm expecting the Williams to be quite quick here this weekend. Carlos Sainz, this is a great track for him. So I think if there is going to be an uptick in the Williams performance, we're going to see Carlos Sainz hit his run of form, which we have seen really in the second half of the season. This is a good track for him. So Sal says top 5. Okay, you got Lando Norris P1, Max P2, George P3, Oscar P4, and Leclerc P5. So we've got the same on P5. We both think Leclerc's going to be P5. But you do think Oscar's going to be P4, and you think Norris is going to take this one. I'll be surprised if the McLaren are dominant this at Vegas. But look, they're still going to be competitive. They're still obviously going to have they've got a good balanced car. In fact, Norris has gone the fastest of all in the second sector. Interesting. I can see that everybody's having trouble getting data. It's an AWS issue. Right, okay. Okay, it's not just us. Right. Sorry about that, guys. Basically, data. AWS, who was applying data, which give all the track data from all the cars. No one's got it. There's a problem with AWS, so every provider is unable to get the data for FP1. Sorry about that, guys. That's a bit annoying. That is a bit annoying. But we'll make do with it. We'll make do with it. I'll keep updated. So Leclerc currently P1, Norris P2, Piastri P3. Norris currently 1.5 tenths slower than Leclerc in this first early section of P1. This first 10 minutes. Hadjar's up there P4, Tsunoda P5, Antonelli P6, Sainz P7, Hamilton P8, Behrman P9, Stroll P10, Lance Stroll. There's a talking point. We'll come back to that. Lawson, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Russell, Colapinto, Alonso, Ocon, Albon, Bortoleto, and Verstappen. Yeah, actually, so what do you think of the situation currently at Red Bull? Yuki Tsunoda, I don't know if you saw him in media day. The guy knows the writing's on the wall, right? He's having to do pre-race interviews for media day. And you can tell he's talking about Sao Paulo. He said, "Oh, you know that's a place where I could have scored points. Mexico City, I could have scored points." And he was basically saying, "Look, there's a lot going on at the team, and that's not my fault, you know, because he knows he has to do as he's told. He has to be the sacrificial lamb for Max Verstappen." And I think he knows that he's out of Formula One now. There's no, because honestly, if it's between Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda for a drive in the Racing Bulls in the V Carb next year, it's got to be Liam Lawson who gets a seat, right? Has to be. I mean, surely Liam Lawson's got more of a higher ceiling to grow than Yuki Tsunoda. I mean, Yuki's had what, 6, 7 seasons? Liam Lawson, rookie season. He's only going to get better, isn't he? So, yeah. I do think that that Liam Lawson needs to get that seat. And I think Helmut Marko's already made the decision. I do. I think he's already made the decision, to be fair. But out of the Ferraris, I'm expecting Leclerc to be quicker than Hamilton. I mean, he has been quicker than Hamilton all season. I think that Ferrari does suit Leclerc's driving style more than Hamilton. Hamilton has closed the gap between them, but Leclerc still has the edge. But do I think Ferrari are going to be competitive, uber competitive this weekend? No. But do I think Leclerc and Hamilton are going to have the fire in their belly after all the Elkin comments where he said they should, focus on driving and shut up? I think they're going to be annoyed. I think they're going to want to show some skills out there this weekend, show some pace. They've been in Maranello all week on the brand offensive, Team Ferrari PR, trying to convince the world that everything's fine at Ferrari. They're all friends with John Elkin, and John Elkin's comments were really meant to motivate the team. I mean, what Leclerc's comments today I thought were quite interesting. He said, well, it's just how John likes to express himself. Oh, okay. That seems fair. It's like having it's like having a verbally abusive parent or partner. Just I'd like to express themselves. Yeah, just blame me for everything. Gaslighting. But yeah, it was all very brand PR, brand Ferrari PR, wasn't it? Right now, Leclerc is leading the way though in FP1. Sainz, we've had a spin. I mean, the Alpine is a bag of spanners, isn't it? You know, Pierre Gasly overcooked it. No, he didn't have a spin. He overcooked it into the runoff area. But that's what happens in FP1. Everyone's trying to find the limits. So if you are going to be using the runoff areas and trying to find the limits, this is the time to do it. You just don't want to. You just don't want to put it in the wall. Verstappen's quickest of all so far. Quickest in sector 1, sector 2. Yeah, Verstappen's showing a little bit of pace. Hulkenberg's currently P1. Now, Hulkenberg's been interesting, hasn't he, over the last few Grand Prix? His qualifying pace has been good. He got into Q3 at Sao Paulo. The Kick Sauber showing some signs of improvement. I am really excited, though, to see how Audi develop that team. The news about their power units is looking very positive. I mean, Audi are literally just working on reliability. A Weekly Basic came out and said we've had our power unit on the dyno for months and we're just working on reliability. I mean, that's Mercedes' level of confidence now in their power unit. And apparently there's only a 20 horsepower between them probably on the data. So Audi are going to bring a good power unit. And in 2026, the cars are going to really, the differentiating factor will be, I think the power units are going to be the thing. I do. So you got Audi who are going to bring a good power unit. Honda, obviously, and Aston Martin are going to bring a great package. And then Mercedes are going to bring a great package. And still, the jury is still out on Ferrari. That we haven't seen any positive data about their power unit for 2026. So I think they probably that normally means that they might be a bit behind everybody. And they've got a lot of work to do. They did lose their lead power unit designer, Zimmerman. They lost a guy called Schmidt, who was the senior performance engineer. Oh, Sal, so you're in. I love Cornwall. Do you know what? I bet when the weather's bad in Cornwall, like, are you on the coast then? Can you see the sea? If you can, that's freaking awesome. That's really cool. Because I bet you get the most crazy weather down there. You get gorgeous summers, but when you get the stormy Christmases, yeah, I love Cornwall. One of my favourite places to visit. I think St. Ives is pretty. Newquay's cool. Newquay's super cool. I've not been to Newquay for ages, actually. But I find it, I know it's touristy, but I do, it's very cool. Just checking that everyone's still having the same problem. Yeah, no one's getting the live data from AWS. We're all in the same boat today. It's very annoying though, because I promised it. I promised it to you. I wonder if anyone else has got it.
First titanium mask.
Oh, I think other people have got it, to be honest. Oh, so annoying. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna have to see if I can get my techie friend out of his bed in Saudi Arabia. He's in Saudi on holiday. I need him to get this sorted before, well, before 4 a.m. for FP2. Otherwise, it might be something we have to fix before qualifying tomorrow night. But yeah, it's so annoying. So you can't see the zebra at 15 miles away, Sam. Yeah, I mean, such a nice part of the world. I'm very jealous. It's a very cool place to be. Mm-mm. So Leclerc currently fastest of all, 40 minutes left of FP1. Max Verstappen just a tenth slower than Leclerc. Then we've got Sainz. He is up there. Carlos Sainz was always going to be quick here. He's only 2 tenths behind Leclerc's time for 1:35.9. Then we've got Hamilton, Stroll, Norris, Sonoda, Gasly, Antonelli, Russell. I was expecting to see some early pace from the Mercedes, actually. Plenty of time to see them improve. Alonso P11, Hulkenberg P12. Then we've got Ocon down P13. Oh, there we go. We talked about improvements. Antonelli's just gone fourth fastest. I would like to see the Mercedes near the top to help my prediction of George Russell P1. Trying to get to the bottom of why we're not getting data. Nope. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, nearest civilian city is Plymouth. Okay. I don't think I have ever been. Have I ever been to Plymouth? I have. You know what? Before I went to Plymouth when I used to race RC cars when I was a youngin. I used to race radio control cars for, believe it or not, to quite a high level. And I raced at a national competition in Plymouth. I was about 16. That was the last time I went to Plymouth. It was a long time ago. Mm-mm. This is something we're going to have to fix. Don't suppose there's any any coders watching that wanna that's what we need. Yeah, I am the wooden. I am up for Vegas practice. However, our streaming platform for the data, the wooden, is not working. So annoying. I'm so sorry. I've done some fake news. I've advertised that we've got track timings, and I can't deliver. We can't get it in this session, which is very annoying. It's still hung up on Sao Paulo, and my guy, who I'm not techie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not that technical. I can't do any coding. He is in Saudi Arabia, which is currently what 3 a.m. in Saudi. So I can't really wake him up to help me out. Yeah, I know they were. We'll get it. I'm going to get it fixed. We need to do a new solution, and it's probably going to require a much better solution than how we've been doing it. Because other people are doing it better, to be honest. I can see other people's streams and they've got it and it's perfect. So I know what we need to do. It's just going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of money. And the kindness of my friend who's an excellent coder, but he's not here. So I will wake him up later though. So the idea is I'm going to try and get him to help me out from his holiday and see if we can get it fixed for. I don't know whether our data stream will start working before FP2. I'm unsure. I keep checking it to see if we have connection, but we do not. So it currently just looks like we have. What it currently looks like is. What it currently looks like is Sao Paulo. And that is not right. As you can tell. Because we're in Vegas. So yeah, it's very annoying. Unless I can get hold of him, I'm not going to fix it. Oh, sorry. Such a letdown. Yeah, that's true. The wood in the race, there's loads. We're just going to get quicker and quicker and quicker. And also, what we're going to learn in FP1, well, hopefully we're going to learn from my predictions point of view, the wooden, is that we're going to learn that Mercedes are near the front. That's what I want to see. I want to see that this is the optimum window for a Mercedes to do well. I think it is. I think cool, dry condition for that Mercedes, a bit like Canada. Because I've gone bold saying George Russell's going to win this race when he's only won one all season. Yeah, the one it will be. Always is. Last few minutes, we'll get more of an idea. And then FP2, we'll get the longer stints, won't we? We'll get the longer runs. We'll see what they're like on the softer tyres. On the soft tyres. We'll get some hot laps and see who's genuinely quick in FP2. Unless you're Max Verstappen, who sometimes like to save it until the last 3 minutes of Q3. Yeah, I've got Max P2, but I'm looking at the times right now, and Verstappen is obviously currently fastest in FP1. Like, I know Max is going to be quick here. It's, you know, it's a low downforce track. He's definitely going to be quick. Even Yuki. Even Yuki's up there at the moment. I think the one to watch. I'll tell you what, the Wooden. Do you know what we missed? Do you know when we were talking about driver of the weekend predictions? We really should have considered Carlos Sainz, because this is a great track for him, and I think Williams are going to do well here. Yeah, Leclerc could. Leclerc's qualifying performance is so. He's so good, isn't he? In qualifying, holding his nerve, really extracting the maximum performance out of that Ferrari in the big moments in qualifying. He's been outstanding at that. I mean, Leclerc, look, he's top 3 drivers, isn't he? For me, I think Leclerc's brilliant. I couldn't agree more. He is. He's pure. He is pure class. He is. He's probably. So you got Verstappen's probably the best driver, I think, in the field right now on the grid. Leclerc's got to be the second quickest, hasn't he? Oh, sorry, the second best driver. Then arguably Russell third. I think they're the top 3 drivers, as in their prime. What, 28 years old? I think they're all about 28. Loads of experience, all the racecraft you could want. Those 3 drivers for me are probably it. They're the top 3 for me. Let me know, what do you think? But Leclerc's just a class act as well. DT, yeah, I'm awake. We're having some disasters, DT. I can't. The live data's not coming through. Bloody nightmare. So I've been false advertised. I've literally false advertised. Instead I've got live timings, and I do not. I have a poster of the Las Vegas Grand Prix until we fix it. The other one said 2022, when they had equal machinery, Max and Charles had some epic battles. Yeah. Until the Mercedes got the regs changed. Yeah. I agree with the top 3. Oh yeah, I think that's it. I'm glad you agree with the top 3, because I also think it's been interesting that, excuse me, is I think Charles Leclerc, any team, whatever their plans are for 2027 for the driver lineups, I think if Leclerc becomes an option, I don't know any team that wouldn't take him, to be honest. You know, if you're not going to be able to get Max Verstappen, I think every one of them would want to have Charles Leclerc. I mean, the way things are at Ferrari, there is a good chance of him leaving. And if you look at what Aston Martin are already getting ahead of the game with that. They're already talking to Nicholas Todd about it, aren't they? We know, Charles unhappy. Maybe it's time. I agree, though. I think it is time. Hamilton has put the softs on, gone fastest of all. 0.2 faster than Verstappen. I was out on the mediums. Leclerc's come out of the soft as well. Leclerc's on the soft. He's gone fastest of all in sector 1. But the Wooden's right. It's the track evolution on these street circuits, and especially here, it's just going to get quicker and quicker. Yeah, the Wooden. The people in the background know he's spending the money in the right places, and it's Aston Martin. Yeah, definitely. Aston. I mean, I'll tell you what's interesting about Aston Martin. Everyone keeps talking about Lawrence Stroll, like wanting to sell the team. I don't think that's the case. I think Lawrence Stroll, he wants to sell Aston Martin the road cars, and I think he wants to keep the team. I think that's what Lawrence wants to do. He wants to sell his stake in the actual road car brand. and he wants to keep the team. Is my understanding. But everyone keeps thinking he wants to sell the actual Formula One team. I don't think he does. Bear me 2 seconds. Sorry, I just need to blow my nose. You don't need to see this. Oh. Sorry. I'm sneezing away. I need to blow my nose. Yeah, that's right, the wood, and that's what he wants to do. Yeah. But lots of people have been talking about saying that Lawrence wants to sell Aston Martin. Yeah, the road cars. I think Lawrence is a bit like Enzo Ferrari. He you know, he's been in Formula One now since he bought into Force India, which I think was 2017, and which then eventually came Aston Martin Racing. But I think the condition is, I think if he sells Aston Martin the road cars, I think he wants to retain an association with the race team. Not that he wants any money from them, because he's actually, Aston Martin don't give any money now. He wants a name. What's the brand name on the racing team? Or maybe if somebody does buy the road cars. I mean, are the road cars not making any money? I mean, is Aston Martin not making money as a company for the road cars? Because, you know, such a cool brand. I love Aston Martin. I like the DB12s. I actually like the 4x4s as well. I like the DBXs. I think they're cool. They are expensive though, aren't they? I mean, that Aston Martin DBX is the best part of £200,000 for you know, which is, I think it's over. I think it's over £200,000. I think all the Astons now are what, you know, brand new are probably about 200 grand, aren't they? And I think the way the world is, yeah, I mean, I think the way the world is now, are people still buying? You know, that kind of like boom in that sort of super coupes. I don't know. I think the world's in a different place these days. I was watching someone talking about the decline in the cost of like Ferraris, and the depreciation is something chronic. Like it's same with Lamborghini, like the Revueltos. You're losing like a couple of £100,000 in a year. Like that's a crazy amount of money to lose on a car in 12 months. You know, you're losing sort of 30%. You could argue, well, the tax is, you know, the VAT is what, 20%. So really, you know, cars, you lose 30% on a car that's 300,000. That's 100,000, isn't it? Crazy. Yes, the one says, I think they're taking a loss on the road cars, a bit like Porsche. Yeah, I think the electric market's killing some brands. Yeah, but who the F wants an electric car? I mean, don't get me wrong. My friend had a Porsche Taycan, and he lost 40 grand on it in like 6 months. He went to try and sell it back to Porsche, and then they offered him like 40 or 50 grand less than what he paid them for it. But that car was so fast. It's absolutely, like, I am not joking. As much as I don't want an electric car, not my thing. Wow, the speed of that Taycan. It was what was it? The Turbo S. It was ridiculously fast. So quick. Like being in a rocket. It wasn't even like being in a rocket. It was like being in a. The noise of it's just. It's like being in a spaceship. Very weird. Isn't that Buck Rogers? If you're old enough to remember Buck Rogers. So at the minute, Leclerc on a soft tyre, P1. Russell is up there, P2. Hamilton, P3. But I think the Wooden's right. It is the track evolution is just going to get ridiculous. It's going to get fast, quicker and quicker and quicker over the weekend as they get that rubber down on the track. And then we'll see actually the harder compound tyres performing better as well. So at the moment, we should see a big advantage for the soft tyre. Over the weekend, that advantage will decrease as the more rubber gets laid down. Yeah, we're still not having a look with our feed. Oh, Sal says, "Oh yeah, the torque from electric is immense." Yeah, it's honestly, it's like it is. The only way I can describe it, it's like being in a out in it is like being in a spaceship. It's just and the noise it's crazy. Sal says, how about Ferrari build a factory in Silverstone and let the British engineers do their see if they do any better? Well, you know, you could argue when you look at McLaren. Look, Formula One, like the Brits have always been great at Formula One, right? I mean, but you know, Williams, McLaren, but German engineering as well. Like you look at Mercedes, you can't you can't argue with that. I think the Italians, everyone brings their own kind of like qualities, don't they? Lotus, of course. Oh my God, Colin Chapman. You see, I'd love to see Lotus back on the grid. I know that it's owned by, you know, the Chinese automotive industry now, but the brand. But don't they want a Chinese team on the grid? I think they do. Yeah, Mercedes is down. You got Alpine down near Silverstone. And Mercedes near Silverstone. Mercedes are near Silverstone as well, aren't they? They're Aston. I think they're all down there. Aston Martin, Mercedes, Alpine. Black and gold Lotus is the one. Absolutely. Absolutely. The one Senna drove back in 80, I want to say about 85, 86. I think it's a 90, I think it was called the Lotus 9040 or 90. Let me just, I'm going to have to Google it because that's going to annoy me. Senna drove the, I think it was 9040. '9070, yeah, the '9070. It was unbelievable. That yeah, the Senna '9070 was just, oh, the black and gold John Player special, which obviously you can't have anymore because cigarette advertising. But the black and gold livery, oh, that's the car from my youngest years. That's the picture. That's the Formula One car that I remember. That's the color scheme. It's always been my favorite livery. Amazing, and he won, and Senna won in that car at Portuguese Grand Prix. Excuse me. Yeah, icon. And then Mario Andretti won in a black and gold Lotus, didn't he? He won the World Championship in a black and gold Lotus. Oh, so you see the Mansell Williams with the red 5, yellow and blue, yellow, blue and white. Red 5, Nigel Mansell, yeah. And obviously Senna's McLaren MP4C, was it? Red and white. Yeah, red 5. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, those were the ones, weren't they? It was like the Marlboro McLaren, the John Player Special Lotus, the Williams. Didn't the Williams have? Were they sponsored by Camel? Yeah, I think they had Camel. Didn't they have Camel cigarettes? Everybody had a, and then you had, oh yeah, everyone had tobacco sponsorship but do you remember the yellow Jordan? They had Benson Hedges, didn't they? Then we had the Lucky Strike. Yeah, Camel. Yeah. And then remember we had Lucky Strike. Lucky Strike was sponsoring. Who were they sponsoring? I mean, there's been a few before they banned it, wasn't there? There's been. I think literally all the tobacco companies were in there at some point. So just 13 minutes left. We've got Leclerc showing that Ferrari's got a little bit of pace on the soft tyre. Yuki Tsunoda! I can't remember the last time I saw Yuki Tsunoda up in P2, even in practice. Yes, Sal. Lotus is the one. That's one we've been talking about, Sal. Oh, my God. The black and gold Lotus. We were just saying it was a Lotus 97T. Senna's Lotus was the one. The iconic one for me. Black and gold. Oh, unbelievable. Absolutely stunning. Yeah, so look at that. Yuki Tsunoda's P2. Everybody, take a moment. That's an impressive. It's impressive. He's a 10th quicker than Verstappen. All out on the soft tyre. Russell, P4, Antonelli, P5. Hamilton's actually 7/10ths off the pace of Leclerc at the moment. He's going to need to narrow that gap. Gasly, Stroll, then Behrman, P9, Ocon, Sainz. Behrman, Ocon, Sainz, Hulkenberg, Albon, Piastri, down P14, Bortoletto, Lawson needs to pull his fingers out. John Player Special. Yeah, that's right. The Lotus was John Player Special. Oh, and then the Buzzing Hornets, Jordan. The Benson Hedges workaround. Yeah. Kyle, he's with us. How you doing, Kyle? How are you doing? Hey, I love that. Loving that super chat. Thanks, buddy. Sorry for false advertising today, Kyle. I've told everyone we're having live timings, and our live timings are knackered. We're not getting the data through. Now, I'm unsure as to whether it's just because it's FP1 and it's going to be fixed for FP2. But my guy, Critchy, is selfishly in Saudi Arabia. So I feel like I've been lying to the community. So I've got live timings. And I might have them fixed by FP2. I don't know. But at the moment, I've not got them. Hence why we've got a lovely poster of Las Vegas Grand Prix. But yes, Kyle, you got a lot of catching up to do. I hope you'll be with us for Grand Prix. It's looking good, you know. It's looking like it's turned out to be. It's going to be a good one. This, I think we're going to have a couple of surprises. And if you haven't seen it yet, I don't know if you've seen the video from earlier today where we saw the Ferrari drivers look like like they had a gun pointing at them or something. You better say the right thing. Like the Ferrari drivers in the media day. Funny. Oh, yes, Kyle. Brilliant. Thanks. Love that. Thanks, buddy. Brilliant. Very, very cool. Yeah, so it's going to be a late one for me. It's after this. We've got obviously FP2 at 4 a.m., 4 till 5. I'm going to try and fix this. I'm going to see if I can get to the bottom of this, a workaround for these live timings. Because I've seen other people who are streaming have got them. So, yes, Carl, no. Yuki, look at him. I mean, he's. I don't think there's any seats left for 26, though. But he's definitely trying to give Helmut Marko something to think about, isn't he? I know. I'm pleased for him. Albon's just gone second fastest as well. I feel bad now. I obviously said Yuki's going to be my dipstick of the weekend because I think they're just going to like sacrificial lamb Yuki. He's like the crash test dummy. He'll be doing all the test setups for Max Verstappen. But they're obviously letting him. I don't know what they're doing for him, right? They're obviously not got him on a crap setup now, because he's in the mix and he's quicker than Verstappen. It's not often you see Yuki in the 3 fastest cars, even in practice. To be fair. Great question, Kyle. Kyle says, "What's the biggest surprise? Yuki going faster, faster than Max, or Ferrari being able to stop the cars?" Yeah, I mean, from the braking point of view for Ferrari, it is a cooler. They're in a cooler environment. Like it's a cool, dry track. I don't know. I mean, I think the big thing about Ferrari is one, how much lift and coasting are they going to be doing on this low downforce track? Well, low downforce tracks, you are talking about you are talking that it's still a situation with lift and coast. Yeah, brakes have time to cool down along straights. Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to be less challenge on the brakes for Ferrari. I mean, if I'm dead honest, I'm surprised to see Leclerc actually the fastest guy on the track at the moment. I don't expect Ferrari to be quick here. And I've not even, remember my prediction. I've got Leclerc. My prediction for Leclerc is P5 for the Grand Prix. I've got George P1. I've got Max P2. Lando P3. Antonelli P4. And then Charles P5. But at the moment, Russell and Antonelli, my theory about Mercedes is not looking quite right. But obviously it's FP1. Oh, look at the livery on that. Look at the livery on Lawson's car on the V-carb. Oh, wow. It does look good, though. Yeah, the V-carb does look cool. He hasn't put in a quick lap yet, but the V-carb livery does look cool under the Vegas lights. Yeah, it looks very cool. The Albon, it must be the new livery. Yeah, I'm just looking at it again. Yeah, it's fair. It looks dead. The V carb looks very cool. I'm so glad about the new regulations where the FIA have said they need to increase the amount of color on the car. I don't think they've gone far enough. Yeah, lucky strike. They were in there, weren't they? Yes, the wooden Lewis's helmet looks cool. Yeah, it's very cool. But I am glad. I do think that these cars, the F1 cars, do need a bit more colour on them. And we're all bored of seeing carbon fibre. I don't think 55 or 50 to 55% is enough. I think they would have mentioned it. 80% probably more would have been a better number to strive for. Because from looking at the car on the top or the side, they said 50% of it needs to be covered in stickers or paint. But I think it should be 80%. I think they wouldn't got it up to, or even more. I'm sick of seeing carbon fibre. And now I'm looking at the livery on that V carb. I'm like, yeah, 100%. It's definitely the way forward. So there's only 4 minutes left of this session. Leclerc has been the quickest of all so far. No one even looks like they're getting close to him. Albon was P2 with, well, he's 1.5 tenths behind, but what I'm saying is no one on track right now. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. We have a yellow flag situation right now. No, we're back. Yeah, so 4 minutes left. Leclerc, that's a surprise for me. Ferrari, fastest car on the track in FP1 is a Ferrari Leclerc. Second fastest, we've got Williams, Albon. And people did say, actually, like Carlos Sainz said, that, you know, this is going to be a good track for Williams. And it's looking like he's absolutely correct. Nice to see Alexander Albon up there putting in some fast times. And the Williams livery does look pretty cool. Wow. And we talked about it this week about the skid plates, the skid blocks and the plank wear. I just saw a shot of Carlos Sainz, his Williams, just the sparks coming out the back of it looked awesome. Williams obviously experimenting. I would say that the Williams are experimenting with ride heights this weekend because right now we're seeing a marked improvement in that Williams. Yeah, I think there'll be some teams playing around with their ride heights for this weekend because we all know the advantage is huge if you just dial in that ride height. It's been one of the big things about the increase in performance for the Red Bull racing car. It wasn't just a new floor; it was also the way they managed to solve the ride height issue, get that car a little bit lower. Just 2 minutes left. The one says also sick of the matte finish, much for shiny. Yeah, now I'm looking at that V carb. I think it should be holographic. Everyone should have these like super shiny holographic finishes on their livery. It looks awesome. Super awesome. So just 2 minutes left of this session. Leclerc, I don't think anyone's going to catch it. I don't think anyone's going to beat his time this session. Hamilton, though, the worrying part about FP1 is the distance between Leclerc and Hamilton. You've got Hamilton 7.5 tenths behind Leclerc's time. We need to see an improvement in FP2, obviously. We do need to see that gap narrow. I mean, it's been a tough couple of weeks for Ferrari. Well, for John Elkann, the drivers have just had so much support because of those comments. But I kind of want Hamilton to do what Leclerc's doing and put those performances in there. So it's the best way to do talking on the track, isn't it? But yeah, I think I did say the Williams livery was my favourite, but now I've seen it on track. I think the V carb is well. I did a poll, didn't I, earlier on the week, who's got the best livery? V carb won, and I was like, nah, the Williams is better. But now I'm actually watching the V carb on track. It's that Racing Bulls car's awesome. Well done to Alexander Albon though. Speaking of Williams, he's gone second fastest. And well done to Yuki Tsunoda. I know it's only free practice 1, but for Yuki Tsunoda to put that Red Bull P3 ahead of Max Verstappen, even in practice, for Yuki, I have to say, he'll be delighted to do that. You know, Yuki's, you know, under the spotlight, really trying. I mean, I think the writing's on the wall. I don't think Yuki has a drive for 2026. I think it's too little too late. But his one lifeline is that Racing Bulls decide not to promote Arvid Lindblad into that V-carb next year. Okay, that's the end of the session. So this is how it looks. Leclerc P1, Albon P2. Well done, Alexander Albon. Yuki Tsunoda P3, Verstappen P4, Sainz P5, Norris P6, Piastri P7. Then we've got the Mercedes of Russell P8, Antonelli P9. I think there's more to come from the Mercedes. So, you know, don't count them out just yet. Hamilton P10, Gasly P11, Lawson P12, Alonso P13, Hadjar down in P14. Oh no, Hadjar's just gone P7. He's just putting one quick lap. He's just gone P7. Alonso P14, Stroll P15, Behrman 16, Ocon 17, Hulkenberg 18, Bortoletto 19, and Colapinto P20. Probably as you'd expect with the Alpine. Yeah, we might get into that next session, FP2. We'll probably need to talk about the Colapinto situation, how he's got his drive at Alpine for next year, for 2026. I think that's an interesting conversation to have, actually. We'll get into it at 4 a.m. So, yeah, I'm going to try... Colapinto. Yeah, the wooden. Well, I called him Crasher Pinto. Yeah, Sal says, how about F1 do some of F2? Some raced one. Are you talking about reverse grids? Yeah, I'm not a fan of the reverse grid idea. They were talking about that in the sprint races, weren't they? Oh, I'm not a big fan of reverse grids. I do like the idea of a super pole in the sprint qualifying for SQ3. I like the idea of a super pole. I think that might make just a different element to the sprint race. But I'm not a fan of the reverse grid idea, to be honest. Yeah, I agree with Woodham. You know what? Fastest car should be on pole, right? That's it. Fastest car should be on pole, but I do like the jeopardy of, you know, hit it or miss it. You get one shot. I feel like the Eminem song. You get one shot, the time to prove. Yeah, but I think, you know, getting one lap, one shot, I think that's quite cool. Cal says Max does good starting in the back. Might work for him. Yeah. Do you know what? Starting from the pit lane. Look, I think Max is going to be on the front row. I do. I do. Yeah, Kyle, I do. I think Max will be on the front row. I think we'll end up with a. Well, I did say George. But we need to see some more pace in FP2, that's for sure. In a couple of hours' time. All drivers just having a quick standing start test. So yeah, it's what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and see if I can get someone to try and help fix my live timing issue before 4 a.m. So yeah, so I'm not lying to everybody when I've got it advertised. But yeah, Charles Leclerc's quickest. Charles Leclerc, that Ferrari, he'll be pleased with that, you know. Even though it's practice, he will. Alexander Albon P2, Yuki Tsunoda P3. That is quite incredible. Verstappen, Sainz, Norris, Hadjar, Piastri, Russell, and Antonelli. That's your top 10 in FP1. But I'm going to be back in a couple of hours. What time are we on now? 1:30. I'm going to be back at 4 o'clock in the morning, UK time. Well, just before, actually. For FP2. I am now going to go and try and fix these live timings. Kyle, thank you so much for your support again, buddy. Really appreciate your super chat. Thanks to Sal. Thanks to the Wooden, as always, for joining us, getting in the chat. Thank you to Paul, Sema. Join me again if you're still awake. I will still be awake. 4 o'clock. couple of hours time, we'll be back for FP2. I'm going to go and get to work on trying to fix these live timings. All right, guys. Thanks so much. See you in a couple of hours time. Ta-ta.